Okay, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending when you're watching this. The purpose of this video is to show you how we will be converting to slope-intercept form. As we have been discussing in class, all three forms of standard form, slope-intercept form, and point-slope form are the same equation and the same line when graphed. The problem being is that standard form and point-slope form cannot be graphed on a graphing calculator because there is not an input and output. We require that for the graphing calculator. This video is going to show you how we're going to convert from point-slope form into slope-intercept form. We are converting from point-slope form into slope-intercept form because slope-intercept form is the only form that can be graphed on a graphing calculator. Before we continue, it's important to know the difference of slope-intercept and point-slope. Slope-intercept, as you have seen all of second semester, is when you have a slope of m times x and a y-intercept at b. Point-slope form, on the other hand, is a little bit different. We still have a slope that is represented in the equation as m, but the difference being is that our point es un punto en la línea. Es un punto en la línea. So here we have x, comma, y. Here in the equation, it's x and y. Take special notice that there is a negative minus y. That'll be important later in the term, as you'll see. So if we have x comma y, the point of the equation below is going to 1 comma 7. We're going to need to make sure that this point, sorry about that, the program just shut off on me. We're going to need to make sure that this point 1 comma 7 is on the line. That is why point-slope form es un punto que existe en la línea. 1 comma 7. And we'll take a look at that later. You will probably notice that both equations have a slope. So whilst we may know already that y is equal to 3 times x, we are missing our b, our y-intercept. We don't know what it is. So to convert from point-slope into slope-intercept, we're going to have to follow a certain procedure, only 2 steps. We're going to use the above equation that we saw in point-slope form, y minus 7 equals 3 slope, open brackets, x minus 1. Remember that we will need to make sure that the point 1 comma 7 is on the line. So in step 1, what we will do is apply the distributive property towards the brackets. In the brackets, we have 3 times x minus 1. So we're going to do 3 times x and 3 times negative 1. Let's see what we get. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Okay, good. We have done step 1 of applying the distributive property towards the bracket. Now let's move on to step 2. In step 2, we need to isolate the y variable. Notice that at the moment we have y minus 7. We don't want that. What we want is y equals slope-intercept form. So if we need y equals, we're going to need to balance the equation. So if we add 7 and add 7, we should result in slope-intercept form. Y equals 3x plus 4. Interesting. We appear to now have the slope-intercept form of 3, our slope, and 4, our y-intercept. We can visually see if this is the correct process by graphing it now on a graphing calculator, as we have a slope-intercept form already created. We have an input, x, and an output, y. This allows for us to graph it on a graphing calculator. Let us observe. As you can see, we have now graphed, because we have slope-intercept form of y equals 3x plus 4, slope-intercept form, and it's a function because you have an input x and an output y. We have graphed it on the graphing calculator. Remember that what we were looking for earlier in our point-slope form was that the el punto 1,7 exist on the line. Well, let's observe. If our x is 1 and our y is 7, let's see if that is on the graph as well. Here is our x-axis. So if we have 1 right here, let's follow it up and see if it gives us 7. Look at that. 7. So clearly, we did the right process. Since the punto exists on the Cartesian plane and on the line. To review, when we convert from point-slope form into slope-intercept form, we are following the following process, whereby we are first applying the distributive property to the brackets that we have been given in point-slope form of x minus 1. This gives us y minus 7 equals 3x minus 3. The application of the distributive property now leads us into the need to isolate our y variable. Our y variable currently is y minus 7 equals 3x minus 3. If we add 7 to both sides of the equation to isolate our y variable, we end up with y equals 3x plus 4. 3 is our slope and 4 is our y-intercept. That can visually be seen that both equations are the same. Both equations are the same, just being represented in two different forms. Y minus 7 equals 3x minus 1, where you have a slope of 3, and a punto of 1,7, and slope-intercept form. Y equals 3x plus 4, where you have a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 4. I hope this video was useful, and should you need any assistance on point slope to slope-intercept, I will be in office hours to assist you. Have a good day, and we'll see each other in class. Ciao, ciao.